My husband makes me elaborate everything and it sparks rage in me. I apologize for bad grammar. My 25F husband, 26M, makes me elaborate everything whenever I am referring to something he has done or said in the past. It is driving me crazy. Just the other day he said eating some food is bad for my health and gave a lecture on it, and today I saw him eating the same thing. When I reminded him of that, he says, "What? When? What did I say?" And then, like a freaking child, I have to explain him that what happened on that day and what words were said from his mouth and what I'm referring to. Then he takes a minute and start talking about it. And after the argument, if I ask him why did act like he didn't remember anything, he says he remembered it perfectly but wanted me to elaborate to get to the root of the issue. By that time I am raging because I find it super disrespectful that he acts like he doesn't remember anything and expect me to tell a story.
This happens always. Whenever I refer to something he has said or done in the past, his first reaction is what? When? What did I say? While knowing exactly what I am talking about. It brings out this rage in me because I know full well he remembers. And he won't want to talk about it unless I freaking elaborate each sentence that was said. It's getting really old. Whenever he sees a valid argument coming, he does this. Why does he do it? Is it to make me calm down while elaborating stuff? Or he is finding time to think about a comeback? Is it the fact that while I finish explaining the argument loses its impact as I felt like a child? TLDR, my 25F husband, 26M, makes me elaborate everything whenever I am referring to something he has done or said in the past. It is driving me crazy.
It's meant to make you angry and destabilized and to put you off calling him out on his BS. This sounds like a form of seal-yanning to me. It's a bad faith rhetorical trick designed to derail an honest discussion. https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/seal-yanning? Prov equals fl1. Does your husband have other red flags? This is the kind of trick manipulators and trolls pull. You mention he lectures you and tries to control your diet. Not okay, up.
Can you elaborate on that? No. You know perfectly well what was said and I'm not wasting time repeating it back to you.
Hello, I hate your husband and no, I won't elaborate.
He puts you at a disadvantage every time because if you don't do it the conversation won't go anywhere. Next time he does the same thing, just go, you know you remember it full well. It's not my responsibility remind you of things you already know time and time again like you're a child. Grow up a little, and when you remember, then we can have a conversation like adults, and just sit it out till he does it IG. And if he says I just want to get to the root of the issue bit again, tell him that people get to the root of issues through conversations and taking responsibility for what they do, not forcing the other person to single-handedly recollect, explain and present their CSSE like they're appealing to some higher power.
It's a control tactic.
Do you want an unethical tip for that kind of situation? I am not saying that is the mature way to go. And in my honest heart, I think the real question here is not why does he does this, but do you want to be with a person who used that kind of tactic? But have you tried concerned? Really? You don't remember this? It was only last week we had that conversation. Maybe it is time to take an appointment with your doctor so they can refer you to a neurologist? Do you think it could be early onset dementia? A brain tumor? Maybe we should talk to your parents about your family medical history? Again, I am jesting here. If the only things he does not remember is when he is being a dickhead, the condition is probably permanent and doctors seldom diagnose their patient as dumbasses. So, you know he remembers exactly what was said. Knowing that, there's no reason at all to tell him what he said and when. So don't. He says, huh? What? Refresh my memory. You say, whatever. Hubs. You went off on me for eating fries. And here you are eating fries. Stop being a hypocrite. He says, wait, what? No fries? I said that? When? Where? Are you sure? You say, stop being a pain in my ass. If you're going to go off on me about fries, At least walk the walk. And then walk away. Don't play his stupid games. He's not always right. Demanding you go into a detailed description of what, where, and how his behavior is offensive is a way to wear you down. Over time, he's going to condition you to stop complaining and stop defending your personal boundaries with this tactic. He knows what he is doing. This is not a simple lack of understanding. He's manipulating the situation so you constantly have to justify your boundaries. It puts you in the defensive even though he is the one who is doing something wrong. He clearly doesn't respect you. You aren't going to fix him. This is him dominating you. He likes it and he will keep doing it until you have no energy to defend yourself. Stop justifying to him why you feel the way you do. He doesn't really care. Leave before he gets worse. He does this to belittle you and make it hard for you to have tough conversations or criticize him. I would dump this pathetic loser if I were you. He's a manipulative jerk who wants to destabilize, criticize you and minimize you. Sit down and think about these patterns. What is in it for him? For the both of you? Why do you both put so much energy in this? He says one thing one day, does the opposite the next. If you bring it up, you know where it's going. Why do you engage? You hate this, but you keep taking the bait. What happens when you don't call him out? He criticizes one day, does the opposite the next. Say nothing. If you think you want this relationship to survive, couples counseling or at least counseling for you. Oh, my partner does this. He's being a hypocrite. He has double standards. He wants to have control to tell you what you can and cannot do, but when he wants to do that thing, he wants to wear you down enough so you'll stop questioning him and leave him alone. Haha. He's manipulating you. He wants to know what you remember so that he can twist how you feel around. He's feeling you out to take advantage of your openness. He is abusive. He knows that you are enraged by this behavior, but he does it anyway. BC, he enjoys torturing you. He will never change his behavior. That would spark rage in anyone. He's playing with you. He thinks it's funny to see you struggle to repeat the exact phrase while getting angry. Refuse to play. When he asks, what, when, etc., just say, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and then end that conversation. If you love him, attempt to let this roll off your back while refusing to play. If you don't love him, well, why are you still with him? I had an ex who was similarly manipulative. He turned every disagreement into a debate to win, rather than a problem to solve. He played dumb and constantly put me on the defensive. I believe he learned this manipulative mindset from his family and wasn't even 100% aware of it. I broke it off, and years later he apologized for his behavior and took ownership for his manipulation. We've both moved on. I believe it's possible to change, but probably rare. Take care of yourself and don't put up with this mindset whether you leave him or stay. Sounds identical to my ex-husband. Manipulative, narcissistic arsehole. Very unlikely anything you say will make him change his behavior. So it's down to you to not play these games. Take a step back and think, do you really want to spend the rest of your life with someone who makes you feel wretched? It's manipulation. He knows perfectly well what happened. He wants to know what you remember in order to trick you in conversation. Start practicing saying, why are you asking? When he does this. If he tries to dodge, say, why is my memory relevant? Is your memory okay? Why do you need to know this? Quote, don't ever let people turn a disagreement about a topic into a fight about the fight instead. Not relevant. Stick to the topic. This isn't about what I remember. Sure. We can rally about that after we finish taking about this one. Quote, I was going to say that you need a recording app, but nah, you need a new husband. Please read Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. I think it will give you the information and tools to decide what is best for you moving forward. Best of luck, Op. When you are at his parents' house, bring up your concerns about early onset dementia and ask if it runs in the family or if he had blunt force trauma to the head in his life because he seems like he has brain damage. Instead of explaining the argument to him, bring it up with his family and explain how he doesn't remember and you are concerned about him. Explain that you will need to get him checked and will not, in good conscience, be having sex with him again until you know he is able to consent.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.